Here at SuperReturn Global Infrastructure, we have Andy Green, National Infrastructure Commissioner. Welcome, Andy.
Hi.
What are some of the main outcomes of the National Infrastructure Assessment?
Well, look, it looks very broadly across six sectors: the digital sector, power, water, waste, flooding and transport. So it's a huge set of recommendations. But some of the most important ones, I think, are full fibre in the UK by 2033, significant measures to move transport budgets to cities to deal with the congestion and pollution that we have around our growing major cities. Really important recommendations to ensure we don't get droughts and we don't have floods, and a whole series of things which we've asked the government to respond to in the autumn. We're hoping to see a national infrastructure strategy which responds to those items.
And what are some of the biggest challenges facing infrastructure today?
Well, I think one of the big things is to make sure that we think about what is changing in the world and making sure we're planning across the right time horizons, that we're thinking long term and we're making the investments we need to have a resilient UK economy with a good quality of life for everybody in the UK.
And where and how is technology playing a role in infrastructure, and how is it changing the industry?
I think there are a whole series of important points. Firstly, we've made the point that the digital infrastructure, the fibre, the 4G, the 5G is the most important part of infrastructure in the UK over this next 30-year period. We have to get that right. That's what our economic development depends upon. So that's technology right in the centre of it. Then data. We need to make sure we have the right data. Data is really valuable in helping users use infrastructure efficiently. We can get around with Citymapper and other applications like that so much more effectively than we could 10 years ago. With all the power we have in our mobile phone, we're able to use the infrastructure at times other people aren't using it, to find quicker routes, to deal with disruption, all those things. But data can also help the industry do maintenance in a way that is better, to allow us to be more efficient and more effective in the way we're doing it. So we're doing a lot of work around digital twins and how they can help the infrastructure industry. So an enormous amount of technological change is important in this whole sector.
It sounds fascinating. How is the industry embracing sustainability?
Well, I think one of the big things for the UK is, we have set ourselves this target of being net carbon neutral by 2050, including all our air travel and sea travel. It's a world first that the UK is going to do that. And we need to make sure, therefore, that we have done all the things we need to. We need to move to electric vehicles. They're very efficient. They reduce consumers' bills because they're much more efficient than combustion charging. That will enable us to deal with how we're going to heat our houses if we're not able to burn gas. These are big questions. So we are facing all these big questions. Good news is those technology changes you talked about are really impacting the sustainable energy sources, the solar and the wind power. The costs of those are coming down very dramatically, already at 35% renewables here in the UK, making really good progress, confident that we're going to be able to use technology to drive those sustainability goals.
And for our viewers, what are the 3 top trends that they can take away for the future?
Well, for me, they are sustainability. We've discussed that already, absolutely crucial. And the second one for me is taking the consumer and the voter with us. That we need to recognise that some of the things we've done in the infrastructure sector have not taken the consumer and voter with us. That gives us regulatory and political uncertainty. We need to think about that much more clearly as we go forward. And the final one, I think, is technology. It's going to affect everything we do in the future, and we need to be up to speed and aware of all the things that we can do to use technology to make infrastructure easier for consumers to use and more profitable for business.
Thank you, Andy. It's been great having you here with us.
Thank you.